Good morning, everybody. So happy to see you here. Not only because I'm a real fan of Joe Ponti, so being in this stunning place for me, it's always so happy. And also because I'm Paolo Vercesi, I'm the executive director of AFIL, and this morning I'm replacing my boss, so another idea to be happy. He cannot be here, unfortunately, for a problem this morning in Brescia. So I'm glad to welcome all of you in Milan and to start this on-site deep dive visit within the plastic project. What is manufacturing? Manufacturing is taking materials and energy and transform material through energy. If we make more than one transformation, this is a supply chain. So that's why supply chains and material are so connected and important for a base to create the competitiveness of the industrial system. AFIL is the Association of Manufacturing Innovation for Factories in Lombardy. It's one of the 9 technology clusters founded by Regione Lombardia to give a voice to the most strategic Lombardy industries like the polymers industry system is. How we do this? We take organization that usually doesn't sit in the same room and we shake them a little bit to create the entropy to give space and make the innovation happen. We align, of course, the voice of small and medium-sized enterprises to the great research agenda discoveries in the Europe side of the research, and we try to collect their issues, their needs, their concerns, and the issues to Regione Lombardia, so they will be able develop, the governance will be able to develop, to prepare the infrastructure, the regulatory system, the financial and the networking, to give a floor to the SMEs to be competitive. And that's why for us, the polymers industry, the networking and projects like plastic you had more than one on-site deep visit, one in Catalonia, Friesland, now in Lombardy, Savinja Salek, Tampere, and Varmaland. So this one, as far as I know, it's the last of the site visit. In the morning, my colleague Samuel Monaco will moderate all the 2 days of your visit, and as the floor of this stunning place for the governance to make the SMEs system so competitive is important. So I will leave, that's why I will leave the floor and give the floor to Mr. Guido Guidesi, who is the regional minister of the economic development of Regione Lombardia, who will introduce us, which is the strategic way for Regione Lombardia to support the industrial system. Mr. Guidesi, the floor is yours.
Thank you and good morning, everyone, and welcome in Lombardy, the first manufacturing region. Per noi questo appuntamento è un appuntamento importante che salutiamo con grande interesse per una serie di motivi. Il primo è che crediamo moltissimo nella collaborazione economica tra regioni europee. Moltissimo in questa collaborazione affinché nella connessione dei know-how di cui i nostri territori godano possa avvenire quelle proposte progettuali di innovazione tecnologica che ci portino ad anticipare i tempi
To us, this is a very important meeting for different reasons. Because we believe in the strategic and economical importance of collaboration within European regions. And we believe that sharing and joining know-hows among our territories can lead to very important proposals and to anticipate times.
Noi siamo la prima regione manifatturiera d'Europa, vogliamo continuare ad esserlo e vogliamo fare in modo che i nostri territori continuino ad essere di crescita economica sostenibile dal punto di vista ambientale e dal punto di vista sociale. Crediamo che quella connessione tra di noi ci possa portare a creare le giuste opportunità per le nuove generazioni.
We are the first manufacturing region in Europe, and we want to keep because we want our territories to keep being growing from the economic and sustainable point of view, environmental and social point of view, and to keep on sharing this so that new generations can thrive.
Dei territori alla nuova Commissione europea ci auguriamo possano portare anche tanto realismo e tante opportunità concrete, perché gli obiettivi non si raggiungono con i progetti astratti, ma si raggiungono con la concretezza dei territori, delle aziende, dei centri di la capacità di innovazione che da sempre esprimiamo.
The proposals that the new European Commission has received from our territories can bring realism and tangibilities to reach the goals of our territories for industries, enterprises, research institutes, and for our territories in general.
Abbiamo bisogno di una semplificazione, abbiamo bisogno di lasciare liberi i nostri ecosistemi, di poter progettare, innovare e lavorare insieme. Abbiamo bisogno della piena neutralità tecnologica per fare questo.
To do this, we need simplification. We need that our ecosystems are free to plan, to innovate, to work together, and that are free from a technological point of view.
Il riutilizzo dei materiali, per cui per noi è una grande opportunità, dal punto di vista ambientale sì, ma soprattutto anche dal punto di vista economico, perché vuol dire dipendere meno da extracontinente.
Reusing materials, being able to reuse materials is a great opportunity, environmentally but also economically, because this means less dependence on exterior.
Nel prossimo mese da noi aprirà il primo impianto di riciclo chimico della plastica. Sarà un impianto sperimentale su cui noi crediamo, perché crediamo nella innovazione, nella sperimentazione, nella ricerca, crediamo nelle persone.
Next month, the first plant for the chemical recycling of plastics will be open. We really believe in this project because we believe in innovation, we believe in experimenting, we believe in research, and we believe in people.
Insieme a voi collaborano aziende, centri di ricerca, associazioni della Lombardia che stanno lavorando insieme cercando di fare squadra e guardando per cui insieme al futuro.
With you are working enterprises, research institutes, associations of the Lombardy region, which are working together at the future.
Questo progetto per noi è l'occasione di allargarla la squadra, cercare di lavorare tutti insieme affinché l'Europa possa continuare ad essere competitiva, ma per essere sappiamo che non può fare a meno dei produttori.
This project to us is the occasion to have a bigger team, to keep on making Europe competitive, but to be competitive, Europe needs its suppliers.
Per cui noi daremo il massimo affinché questo progetto si concretizzi e diventi opportunità anche dal punto di vista economico per il futuro, e avete da parte nostra la piena disponibilità a giocare in squadra le sfide del futuro, perché se le giocheremo in squadra l'Europa sarà in grado di vincerle, e se le giocheremo in squadra attraverso i progetti che arrivano dai territori sicuramente la giocheremo con progetti vincenti.
So we will do our best to implement this project because this is an economical opportunity for the future. We are at your disposal to play together, to be in the same team, to face together future challenges, because only by playing together we can face these future challenges.
Vi auguro un buon soggiorno a Milano, sperando che la nostra ospitalità vi sia piaciuta e sperando che ovviamente torniate per altre opportunità di lavoro e di svago nella nostra regione e nel nostro territorio. Grazie e buon lavoro a tutti.
I hope you enjoy your stay in Milan, and I hope you will come back for work, but also for leisure, to enjoy our territory, to enjoy our region. Thank you.
So, Paolo, I think now it's my turn to introduce myself. As you probably, most of you know, my name is, and I'm the Communication and Institutional Affairs Manager within AFIL, and also in charge of PLASTIX project. So today I will be the moderator, I would say, rather will give the floor to the speakers that have agreed to be here to tell to the PLASTIX delegation what is going on in Lombardy. So before that, and also thanking again for hosting here in these wonderful premises, despite the weather that we hope will be better later. I will leave the floor to Carlo Bianchessi, who is the head of unit for corporate competitiveness and sustainability ecosystems and value in the Lombardy region, in particular the Directorate General for Economic Development that is led by the Regional Minister Guido Guidesi. So, Carlo, that most of you know because was present in Barcelona with Vincenzo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Samuel, and welcome to Milan and its beautiful foggy weather. But I think that in few hours we will be able to see something somewhere. I don't know if we have a presentation. Regione Lombardy.
We have some technical issues in making the first slide start, but Carlo, you were the first, so you have to be patient. But okay, we will move to the slides, maybe. Okay, so far so good. Just a reminder where we are. Okay. Thank you.
Well, Lombardy region is involved in this project as associated authority, and the PLASTIX project is very important for our territory. We cooperate closely with the project partner AFIL. Thank you for all that. And we are involved in the improvement of the promotion of value chains, and important project that I work on. And we maintain regular contact with AFIL and the regional stakeholders group we have with us something to present. We participated to on-site deep dive visit in Barcelona, and thank you, region. And the first of all is an overview. We built instruments and measures for enterprises like we were building a Lego construction, a Lego bricks. And we started from startups and then to innovation of enterprises, and the development and transition to digital and green, and internationalization and attracting investment. And we are involved also in revitalization. So we follow to the beginning, to the end of life of our enterprises. And so we have a lot of instruments, but I will speak about two particular instruments. The first, we can see the RDF actions with the European Fund, all the measures, all the actions we activated in these years. And so you can see how many euro million we involved. In red, you see value chains, misura filiere, 30 million, and the circular economy, 30 million. And those are two measures that are very important for plastics project and for stakeholders groups. The measure about value chain or ecosystem, industrial ecosystem, is made by two phases. The first is a call for Lombardy value chains. In this call, we are not an economic reward. We have a recognition of the value chain or the ecosystem. We need at least 10 enterprises, 10 Lombardy enterprises, which collaborate with the foundation, university, institutions, and banks or financial mediators. To be recognized, you have to present a project, an agreement project, and the goal is to collaborate, to make a project in which also enterprises in the market that are involved in the market can present a project without economic reward, an idea which could be developed with the participation at the actions, at the measures we provide with the European funds. We have already 67 value chains, 67 ecosystems recognized, and the last yesterday we recognized the last value chain in metalmeccanica. We've involved 441 enterprises in all Lombardy territory, in all provinces, over 5,000 in Milan, 7 in Brescia, And in all of territory, there are recognized value chains and recognized systems. And you can see the distribution by area of interest. So we have sustainability and circularity, which is very big. Innovation transfers, digitalization, research, training, human capital, employment, and also this interest is important for us because of the problem and about the competence of employers, internationalization, credit and capitalization, revitalization of inactive areas. Some area of interest are very important for us, but all sectors are involved in this, from tourism to social to manufacturing and so on, to chemical, to green chemical. The first phase is the recognition. The second phase is to participate to measures or actions and recognized value chains and recognized ecosystem have an advantage to participate to these measures. The call with 30 million in industrial development and 4 million for experimental development for the big companies, 34 million are for the strengthening of regional production chains in industrial ecosystem to increase their capacity of innovation, production, investment, according to the European Union Industrial Strategy, through the implementation projects. In these projects, submitted by groups of at least 5 partner enterprises, so we have value chain and with over 10 or 20 or 30 enterprises, but for the project of this call, 5. And 5 enterprises must be linked by an industrial agreement with the majority of small and medium and mid-caps enterprises, with 1 or more operating offices in Lombardy. In each group, a single larger enterprise can contribute, bringing experimental developments. We are thinking about simplification of this, thinking about the possibility to present 3 enterprises for the industrial agreement. Because we have experimented that it's difficult to present an industrial agreement in 5 partners. And so we are thinking about this. Costs that can be financed, business development, organization and process innovation, experimental development. So you can see machinery, purchase, network connection, energy facilities, softwares, trademarks, brickwork and plumbing, equipment, contract research. In the experimental development for the big companies, for the large enterprises, we can recognize the cost of staff, of equipment, of contract research, on operating costs. The second measure with the consider very important for this project is the measure to support the transition of Lombardy micro and small, medium enterprises to circular and sustainable production model. On 3rd of December, you can see, you will be able to see our band to Economia Circolare, and we will start. The measures aims to develop a sustainable model of industrial growth by supporting innovative production actions for a gradual transition to a circular economy. The efficient use of resources leads to more competitive and sustainable enterprises, and this is the project. Here we need a group of at least 5 micro and small medium enterprises that can apply to finance projects of efficiency enhancement and circular economy actions in their filiera value chain production processes. We have now 12 millions, but we will be able to increase to 30 millions these funds. We can see cost and industrial processes involved, consulting costs, environment and process certifications, technological equipments, software, home automation, energy saving, monitoring, software and hardware engineering, and so on. And we support industrial processes, product innovation, every eco-design applications, production and supply models by low energy impact carriers, implementation of international green certification, circular bioeconomy, which is very interesting, new front, circular trade strategies, and valorization of products, also industrial symbiosis, and Guido Guidesi spoke about this. I think I finished. I'm here for and thank you very much. We hope that we will continue to out these projects with the stakeholders of Lombardy and the other guests of the. Thank you very much. And so, Samuel,
thank you, Carlo. Thanks for the presentation. I think that you showed us how active is Lombardy region, our associated policy authority, for what concerns the competitiveness, circular economy-related topics for companies. And we are working together with Lombardy region, as shown with regard to our and I think we are doing good, but we still have now more or less within PLASTIX project. So now talking about PLASTIX, I will leave the floor to the coordinator of the project, Esa Kokkonen, who is representing Baltic Institute of Finland. So the floor is yours, Esa. Just a moment to have your slide ready on the screen. Carlo, my colleague, is taking care of that. No? Slide. Okay. These are the slides. Sorry, because it seems like the slides that are okay.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Esa Kokkonen from the Baltic Institute of Finland, Tampere region. We are organization serving Tampere city of in European cooperation, especially in areas and topics on innovation. And very happy and proud to be a lead partner of this project, and very proud to have all of you partners all over Europe in the project with us, and now to be here in Lombardy, one of the industrial economic engine regions of Europe, and for us, the rest of the partnership, of course, mainly smaller regions. It's of course a great opportunity to work, collaborate with Lombardy and your and AFIL. We have an earlier experience also working. We started already more than 10 years ago, first project with AFIL and Lombardy, also in Interreg Europe, and really been learning a lot from your region about your very, very innovative, dynamic ecosystems and innovation policies. And now in this important topic of circular economy and circular economy of plastics, happy to further extend our collaboration. So Interreg Europe, of course, partners are here. Many of you from Lombardy, I'm sure that you know the program, possibly being involved in projects. It's around 400 million euro a program, not 29, but 36 countries. As earlier this year, the program was extended with the new countries, EU candidate countries from Balkans, also Ukraine. So this is a very different EU financing program compared to many others. So this focuses on policy development, policy improvement. So very, very important to have one program for that, as we have very kind of ambitious goals in climate topics, in energy, in digitalization. There's a major transformation non-technologically. There are serious crises that we are facing. So it's very important that our policies are up to date, and we make sure that we learn from each other and together improve our policies with the common goals. And I think this is more important than ever to have this kind of a support instrument that helps the regional, local, and also national policymakers, policy relevant organizations to together update their policies in different important topics related to climate or energy or digitalization, any area of innovation. And of course, circular economy and plastics are common topics for all of us. And I think that this is very, very timely exercise that we are doing. And I hope that this kind of a collaboration continues also in the next EU program period. So the issue addressed, as mentioned already, this is about promoting transition towards more circular economy, especially focusing on growing problem of plastic waste. And this move and this transition requires commitments and new kind of approaches and innovative actions in all levels and sectors, including the regional level. So there's a strong regional policy relevance in these topics. And as all European regions are facing these similar challenges related to plastics, which they can tackle with effective and innovative policies. So this is a good topic for us to collaborate and learn from each other. This, of course, is connected to the climate challenge and biodiversity challenge as a bigger picture. And regions play an important role also in this topic. And they can, of course, impact, influence, finance related investments, strengthen the related value chain, the business sector in this transition and through their financing instruments. And as we just heard from Lombardy, very impressive portfolio of policies and financing instruments that this region has to tackle this challenge. And if not most, maybe all European regions focus in circular economy, in promotion of circular economy in their development policies, in their operational programs and in their regional strategies. And as this is a similar kind of a challenge there's an urgency to find solutions, there's a climate urgency, so it makes sense that we join forces and we learn from the already tested concepts and innovative practices and make sure that we resources and expertise. And it's important that we have, of course, like in all European projects like this, also common European policy framework. And in our case, it's European strategy for plastics in circular economy and the new EU Circular Economy Action Plan. And of course, we are now in very interesting situation. There will be a new commission, the preparation for post-27 program period is already underway. So when in our program we prepare for the post-27 period as well. And we are sure that these topics will be important, but of course there will be some changes, and there are some questions around the future of cohesion policy as well. And these kind of projects are also moments for us to strengthen our contribution to this dialogue and preparation of post-27 programs to make, and also through our small part to contribute to the importance of regional dimension of and competitiveness policies. And there's certain discussion that of course so much changes and have happened that and different kind of experiments have been done during this program period in regard to regional dimension of European innovation policy. And of course, for us, it's very important that all projects like this and networks like this that we are able to deliver our message about clearly about what regions can do, what is the role of regions in different European challenges, and that it should be then recognized also in future programs. So this is very simple kind of a intervention logic and the objectives that an Interreg Europe project has. So this is about the policy improvement. And all partners have one addressed policy instrument, operational program or regional development program or any relevant that will be then updated, improved through and good practices, solutions gained in this project. So we want to make the programs and instruments better, this circularity transition. And also we want to improve to better support interregional collaboration and connecting regional innovation ecosystems and value chains, strengthen the value chains. So this is always very important part of Interreg Europe project that we need to, in regard to our smart specialization strategies, we need to implement them together, kind of co-specialize and understand the complementarities between different European regions. Sure that this is something that our project also contributes to very, very well. End of the day, with the improved policies, we want to serve our key in the regions, the SMEs, to help them to develop innovative solutions and technologies and services in circular economy of plastics. So here are the topics summarized where we are focusing on in our interregional learning process in this project: plastic recycling solutions and waste prevention, new bioeconomy-based materials and products, business innovations, circular economy metrics related to policy instruments, and raising awareness of environment and social aspects. And all these have been nicely covered in our interregional learning events, OSDDs, as we call them. We've been meeting frequently in the last 1.5 years and partner regions have provided very interesting cases, good practices, innovative companies, research institutions, and we've been discussing with them and with our stakeholders on these topics and how we can improve our policies to better to provide better, more targeted support for these issues. Here are our partners. It's nicely covering the EU and from north to south and east to west. We are very happy that this summer we were also able to extend our partnership with 2 new partners as the program was opened for additional partners from new program area countries, from EU candidate countries. And we are very happy to have a partner from Ukraine, Zhytomyr Polytechnic State University here, welcome, and also Banja Luka from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Unfortunately, they were not able to participate today. But this is also important role that this kind of a project in these times have, that we are able to help the EU candidate countries to more strongly connect to European innovation networks, regional networks, value chains, and looking forward to close collaboration and future collaboration with all of you and with the new partners. We've been only running for 1.5 years now, very actually intensive schedule already. This is already our last interregional learning event here in Lombardy, but then next year we'll continue live exchange and learning through a staff exchange program. But we started in last year in June in Tampere region with a kickoff and a learning visit in Tampere. And before that, already we made a state of the play analysis of where are we as regions in this topic, and what kind of ecosystems and value chains do we have, and what are the connections and learning opportunities. And impressive work done with that analysis by our Catalonian partner Axio, and a very important baseline for this learning process was provided. Then we continued in Barcelona and Catalonia, then in Slovenia, in Netherlands, in Friesland, and just a couple of months ago in Värmland in Sweden. And now we are here in Lombardy, the biggest partner region, and I'm impressed by the agenda and how we will be introduced and presented the good practices and from the business sector and from the research sector here, and really looking forward to good discussions and a lot of learning for us during these coming 2 days. And then, of course, there's work at the regional level in between the meetings. So we have a regional stakeholder groups, each partner region, and covering, engaging key players from around this topic, the business sector, universities, local and regional authorities, etc. And the policy improvement work is then done in close collaboration with the stakeholders. And stakeholders also are involved in these learning activities. And we have here some stakeholders from our partner regions also with us during this Lombardy event. But thanks already at this point for AFIL for great collaboration and amazing work with the agenda, and for Samuel and Eda and Mr. Marini, and we have really had a great collaboration with you in different European projects, and really there's still a lot of work ahead in this project, but we are looking forward to work with AFIL and Lombardy region in common topics. That was the last, and once again thank you, and and looking forward to good, fruitful days and discussions. Thanks.
Thank you, Esa, for your kind words towards AFIL and also the other partners, and also for the exhaustive overview that you have given us regarding PLASTIX project. So now I'm standing here next to AFIL's roll-up because it's our turn to briefly present ourselves and also the synergy. Most of you already know us since many years, but we would like to focus in detail on what AFIL does. And before starting, let me thank also, in addition to Eda, also Carlo and Isabella for supporting the organization of this event and having so many people here at Lombardy region premises. So I will switch to this microphone and I will start my about AFIL. So basically, AFIL has a mission that can be presented with three sub-sections. So the first of all, as said, as repeated many times, we are a reference sector for Lombardy region for the definition of the research and innovation policies within the manufacturing sector, and that is done in, let's say, in relation to the specialization strategy that every region has to develop and regularly update every 7 years, but also with midterm revisions. So we have been involved in the years the definition of this strategy. Then, being a cluster, we, let's say, regroup a number of companies that could be startups, small, medium, and large enterprises. Then we have universities, research centers, associations that are part of our cluster, but we also have an inclusive approach, so we refer to all the actors that are interested in the advanced manufacturing sector in Lombardy. And finally, also in light of the role that has been entrusted to us by Lombardy region, we represent the advanced manufacturing sector at the national level within the national intelligent factory cluster, but also at European level, and we will see later on which are the networks we are part of. So that is, let's say, a summary of what I've just said. On one end, we have Lombardy region. On the other end, we have the national and international initiatives we are part of. So Fabbrica Intelligente, which is the National Intelligent Factory Cluster, the European Union, the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, the Smart Specialization Platform, the Vanguard Initiative, the 4 Motors of Europe, of which Lombardy region, together with Catalonia, is one of the 4 partners. And then we have the World Economic Forum. This slide shows you how AFIL works internally. So we have working groups that are called strategic communities, and at the moment the 7 active strategic communities are those that you see. And in the center we have the advanced polymers one, which will be the focus of the next presentations, together with the linked to that. So we regroup the members that are interested to develop contents and to network and to share best practice on these specific topics. And we regularly meet, also organize visits to companies or universities or research centers. What was 2.5 years, starting from the call of expression for expressions of interest that was launched by Lombardy region and in particular the DG Economic Development, AFIL has relied on the existing communities to develop some value chains. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to translate the official Italian name in. Basically, we have one on additive manufacturing in the upper left corner, then we have one on agro-food manufacturing that will be briefly presented by Tecno Alimenti later this morning. Then we'll have one about steel, one about the first one about textile. Then we have 2 related to automotive. The second one, whose acronym is COEVE, is linked to the electric vehicles, which is, let's say, a hot topic in Lombardy. Then we have one on very huge, very populated about machinery. And then we have the second one on textile. And finally, last but not least, the Lombardy value chain, the Lombardy smart and sustainable value chain on advanced polymers that will be presented by Alessandro, that is present here together with the other Alessandro and Daniela that you have met during all OSDDs so far. This is just a slide to show you that we also launch innovative initiatives for members and non-members. This one is called SCORE, Strategic Communities Open Resources for Enterprises. And this is let's say the function of this process. We explored and we open an open call to allow the matchmaking between companies that have a need and startups that could try to offer a solution to that. And then there is the pitch day, and this is a process managed through a platform that AFIL has developed and is also available in English together with Skipso. We also produce many materials also in English. This one is an example. AFIL's brochure on circular economy. So as you can see in the index, it is connected to the strategic community on de- and remanufacturing for circular economy. A summary of what has been done so far and a list of AFIL members that are involved in the topic, and more or less similar to what we are doing after my intervention, present the best practices at the Lombardy level. But Lombardy region Lombardy region has also entrusted us with the role of developing strategic the roadmap on circular economy and the document on research and innovation priorities on artificial intelligence in manufacturing in Lombardy. The first document is dated 2019 and will be probably updated in light of the trends and development of the last year that's been very, very, let's say, frequent. And on the other side, we have a document that was presented earlier this year during another event that was organized with Lombardy region. It was the Cluster Meet Regions event within the European Cluster Collaboration Platform. We will see a slide later. Of the topics on which AFIL closely cooperates with Lombardy region in relation to the S3 strategy. I've mentioned the three networks, so we'll just the Vanguard Initiative and the Four Motors of Europe and the Smart Specialization Strategy. And those one, Vanguard and the S3 platform, are closely connected. And we work in the pilots of Vanguard that are on efficient and sustainable manufacturing, which we are co-coordinating. Then we also have printing and artificial intelligence. Then there are also the partnership within S3 platform on batteries and 5G. As you can see, the work that has been developed at local level within the working groups, communities, is also present at European level. So we try to maintain, let's say, a connection between the local and the European level. So we take to Europe the best practices and the trends and the initiatives that the Lombardy region is developing, and at the same time, once get aware of best practices or innovative actions that can be replicated at the local level to bring them to Lombardy. And this is also the case of a PLASTIX project, because after the on-site deep dive visits, we have brought home AFIL with us, have brought home some ideas and best practices. So that was the event I was mentioning that was organized at other headquarters of Lombardy region that you may have seen here, maybe not today with the fog, but if you ever walk around, you will see it. And it was focusing on twin transition, so the two transitions that AFIL mainly works on, so the digital and the green one. Just a final slide on the huge involvement of AFIL in European projects. We cover more or less every financing program except LIFE, I would say. And in the recent period, we are heavily involved in what is called the Interregional Innovation Investments, I3, that is an innovative mechanism fund launched by the European Commission. And in many of them, Lombardy region has given us the endorsement or is involved, let's say, more heavily. So that was my presentation. And of course, if you have any questions to me and to the speakers that spoke before me or that will speak after me, we will have maybe some time if we don't have much delay at the end of the first session. Otherwise, we will have the coffee break for some bilateral conversation. So now I will leave the floor to Alessandro Migliavacca from Elettrotecnica Rold. As said, Rold is the lead partner of the Lombardy Smart and Sustainable Value Chain on Advanced Polymers. So Alessandro will tell us more about the company and also their role as coordinators. So if the presentation is ready, perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Samuel, for the introduction. So, hello, everybody.
Thank you.
So, thank you for the applause also. And so, I'm Alessandro Migliavacca from Rold, and today I'm going to put some of Rold, actually, and some of our initiative. So, but just a brief introduction. So we are a manufacturing enterprise working in the field of polymers, and we are a member of AFIL and member of its cluster strategic community of advanced polymers, and we are also coordinator of the Lombardy Sustainable Smart Value Chain of advanced polymers. And this is why we have been participating since 1 year ago in the other on-site deep diving events. So, but now let me introduce Rold. So we are a medium-sized company, family-run business, founded in 1963. And we are leader in the design and development and production of components for the appliances sector. So our components are installed into appliances such as washing machine or dishwasher, and they are sold basically to every producer of household appliances, from European ones such as Electrolux to the Far East ones such as LG. We have a verticalized approach, so we start from the ideation of new products by R&D and innovation department, and then raw materials are purchased and they are transformed by metal cutting and injection molding process, and then assembled to create the final product. But in addition to this is our core business actually, and we have two additional divisions, Rold Academy and Air Lab. Concerning Rold Academy, it is the business unit in charge of fostering an offline learning approach, of supporting the integration of sustainability practice within Rold, and of managing the funded projects and grants. Then there is Air Lab, where actually I've been working in, and we are the applied research and innovation laboratory of Rold in mind, so which is the Milano Innovation District. So we are in a separate site with respect to our headquarters. We want to try to explore new markets, and such as life science, for example. And our aims is that to foster innovation, but not strictly related to mechatronic components, but to trying to develop solutions mental and social needs. So we also strongly collaborate, proposing to students challenges and theses. Additionally, we collaborate also with international entities such as International Electrotechnical Committee in order to develop standards, for example, regarding microplastic filtration from the washing machine effluent. Moreover, we are collaborating with other entities within ROD and Polytechnic of Milan in order to develop products able to monitoring, recognize and monitoring its conservation state. We are working with other within ROD trying to implement circular economy practices. This includes, let me say, studies for integrate secondary raw materials into our products, closely collaborating with our suppliers, and so a value chain approach. And why? We decided to present, also thanks to the support of AFIL, our proposal presented in a context of the initiative launched by Lombardy region, so well described by Mr. Bianchessi a couple of presentations before, about the Lombardy sustainable and smart value chain on advanced polymers. This value chain involves initially 35 entities, consist of 24 of which 15 small medium enterprises, 6 universities organization, and 5 other entities such as NGOs. All of these entities decided to join this value chain in order to identify priorities and future needs of the value chain in terms of advanced polymers, so as to make it sustainable and smart. So based on the need of all these members, we identified 4 priorities here described by different colors in this circle, which are all interconnected and all are able to reach the final aim. So consider the first need, which basically aims to transfer the research at the academic level to industries in terms of studying novel materials, novel polymers, for example, from natural sources. Then the second priority aims to digitalization of the value chain, gathering data, or leveraging of emerging technologies such as plastronic, advanced sensorization of the processes, and artificial intelligence. Thanks to this data, we want to enable the traceability and the certification of material and products. But all of this action will not be effective without a continuous learning and reskilling plan for workers within the whole value chain. So, to conclude, we are very proud that the work carried out, thanks also with the support of AFIL, allowed to reach the understanding of the entire value chain and result a deeper knowledge on specific needs across the whole value chain. And so, at the end, to reinforce vision towards a more sustainable and smart advanced chain. Because we strongly believe that this kind of approach can be seen as a model enabling innovation through strong collaboration among different entities, improve the regional competitiveness. Thank you, and I'm available in case of you have a question or further curiosity. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that Roald had the opportunity to present their value chain, the value chain they are coordinating in front of Lombardy region, and especially in front of Carlo. So I hope you will appreciate that. And just to, let's say, to recap, the last three presentations were, let's say, a triangle, because there was Lombardy region as the associated policy authority, so the responsible for the policy instrument that AFIL has included in the project, in the PLASTIX project. Then we had AFIL as the partner, and then we had Roald as the coordinator and of the regional stakeholder group within PLASTIX, and in charge of, let's say, the practical putting into practice the policy instrument with a real initiative. So now back, and since, as you remember in the slide, I introduced the strategic communities from where the value chains were in many cases derivating. So we will now present the strategic community on advanced polymers that is co-coordinated by two professors. So I will leave the floor first to Gianmarco Griffini and then to Emilio Sardini. So Gianmarco, the floor is yours, from Polytechnic University of Milan. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for being here, and welcome to Milano from my side as well. So I'll try to give you an idea of what we do in the strategic community, and I'll try to give you an idea of what we do at Politecnico. I'm here as a representative, let's say, institution, AFIL on the one side and Politecnico on the other side. I'll try to guide you through a few examples of what we mean by polymers and in composite materials. Before doing that, I'd like to just give a brief introduction of what Politecnico is. I'm sure all of you know it. It's I think the largest technical university in Italy, and there you see a few numbers regarding students and faculty members and technical administrative staff. We are also quite active in the European landscape in terms of teaching as well as research and innovation. So we are very much committed to European actions for funding research. I'm affiliated with the Department of Chemistry, Materials and Chemical Engineering, which was named after Professor Giulio Natta, who, as you may know, was awarded Nobel years back now for his discoveries on polymers. What we do in the department is working on several aspects related to chemistry, biological engineering, chemical engineering, and materials engineering. I belong to the section of materials engineering, materials science and engineering, and more specifically, our lab is the one you see there. So we are a macromolecular chemistry lab where we do macromolecular chemistry, we do polymer synthesis, we do characterization on polymers, we do application of polymers on a variety of fields of application. So what I would like to do today is to give you an idea of what we do at Politecnico and how this is related to what we have been doing in the strategy, as well as in the value chain that Alessandro just mentioned. So the activities we do in our group and in our lab very well matches with what we do in the strategy. We tackle the circular economy issue, let's say, or landscape. More specifically, what we typically work on is on a few points of the several elements that circular economy is. Specifically, you see those that are circled there in white. So we work a lot on the development of sustainable practices to recycle and reuse materials. Materials coming from bio-based or bio-derived sources. And we also work on the design of the material so that it can be incorporated into a product so that the product will be intrinsically recycled. So the end of life of the product will also be sustainable through all aspects. These different points are have been well by Alessandro. I'm not going to spend too much time on the on the description of the value chain, I just want to tell you that we typically are active as mostly, I would say, in the yellow part regarding the development of materials and technologies, but also the blue part, reuse and recycling, as well as the transformation and usage, is also very, very much present in the strategic community. So now, after this brief introduction, let me just guide you through, as I said, a few examples of what we mean by circular economy when we talk about polymers and composite materials. So in our view, the circular economy translated into materials, when we talk about plastics, is related to three main points. First of all, the ability to extend the useful lifetime of the product. And this may be done by resorting to materials that are intrinsically durable. Second point is accessing more sustainable end-of-life scenarios. And this means developing materials that are, as I said, intrinsically recyclable or reusable or repairable. And finally, exploiting more sustainable feedstock, meaning using recycled plastics, recycled materials, as well as utilizing bio-based precursors, which may become building blocks for new materials. And this means basically developing materials which are functional, similar responsive, or bio-based. Of course, all these 3 points need to be somehow connected by means of efficient, effective, and again, sustainable production and transformation technologies. Let me guide you through a few examples of each of those, starting by functional polymers and materials. This means, as I said, developing materials that are intrinsically durable, so they can exhibit functionalities, for instance, surface functionalities that can help the product to withstand aging, for instance. So here I have just reported a few examples of, for instance, coatings which are intrinsically hard, scratch resistant, easily processable also through means that are compliant with the green chemistry and circular economy processes. Or, for instance, increasing the functionality of materials by introducing some additional value to the surface, meaning hydrophobicity, oleophobicity, hydrophilicity, self-cleaning. Here you see a few examples of, there's also a video showing how to develop, or actually the result of an intensive work of development of materials that can exhibit self-cleaning abilities and hydrophobicity. Moving on to the so-called stimulant-responsive polymers and composites. In this case, what we are doing and what we aim to do is to develop materials that can be repaired by means of external stimuli, for instance, heat, for instance, light. So here again, you see a small video on the left-hand side where you see a crack that is being healed autonomously in this case. Still sticking to the stimulant-responsive polymer field, what we are aiming to do is to develop thermosets which can be intrinsically recycled. So they can be repairable, reprocessable, reusable, ideally reconfigurable. You see again in the slide an example of an epoxy system. So typical resin used for composite materials that can actually be thermoformed, contrary to what is normally done with epoxy systems. So here there's a lot of chemistry inside, and we try to modulate the formulation so that we can have this kind of effect. To conclude, the bio-based polymers and composites, so resorting to, as I said, recycled feedstocks or bio-based feedstocks. Here I've just put down a few names of precursors, oligomers, monomers that we can typically employ to develop polymers. I've highlighted a few of them. So lignin, coming, as you know, I mean, some of you come from the Nordic countries, so you very well know what lignin is. It can be used as a precursor for instance, as I said, epoxy materials or phenolics, so a replacement of critical compounds, critical chemical compounds, using materials coming from the sugar value chain and also coming from waste. Cutin, for instance, is one of them, coming from the tomato skin. What do we do with them? We can do coatings, we can do bulk materials, we can do resins for composites. So here I'm just showing a few examples. So for instance, anti-corrosive coatings, For instance, resins for composites, so to impregnate fibers and then obtain more sustainable composite materials, and adhesives as well. So that gives you an idea of what we are trying to do, what we're doing, and what we try to implement in the community in terms of production and development of polymers and composite technologies. We'll probably hear a bit more on recycling technologies later on during this morning. Before concluding, let me just leave you with one of the key points raised by the European Commission in 2018, where the Europe's new plastic economy was somehow defined. There, it is quite clear that there is the need to have collaboration between industrial partners, research organizations, and policymakers. And I think this is the right scenario we are currently actually experiencing today. These are my details, so I'm happy to answer questions if you have even. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Gianmarco. I'm sure that you will also be able to answer to questions in the afternoon when the PLASTIX delegation will visit the laboratory of the Politecnico di Milano, and also the one from CNR Stima, which is the Institute of Intelligent Industrial Technologies and Systems for Advanced Manufacturing. Now Emilio has already come to the stage alone, so I will leave. Please talk to us about the strategic community and the University of Brescia.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The title of my presentation is Advanced Sensor to Monitor the Product Life Cycle, Enable Predictive Maintenance. I'm coming from the University of Brescia. This is a photo of the headquarters of the university. We are about 500 faculty members and have 15,000 students, which is the goal of the activity that the University of Brescia wants to reach in this activity. We can begin from the goal of the strategic community, that is advanced polymers, of course. It is the development of a sustainable smart plastic supply chain. And the scientific area promoted by the University of Brescia is the integration of sensor, a passive sensor. That means that we do not have any electronics component. We have some material in order to transduce the quantities under measurement and to communicate to an external unit the data. And we propose to integrate a sensor into plastic product, but with which function to monitor the state, the mechanical state of the product, such as to be able to favor the monitoring of the product life cycle and the reuse of the product. Which type of sensor? One is the natural answer is the strain sensor that we can fabricate by using 3D printing technology, jet printing or aerosol jet printing. And we also propose a temperature sensor, again fabricated by the aerosol jet printing. As I told you, this type of sensor can be used to measure mechanical or temperature of a plastic product. The sensors are passive in the sense that no electronic components are mounted over the product. Just to give you an overview of the main equipment that we have in our department, this is the first 3D printing technology we had. It is the aerosol jet printing. It's a material jetting additive manufacturing technique. you can see here some of the product we can have. Please look at the geometric value that is very interesting, in the sense that we are able to reach very high resolution, and this is useful to draw, to find architecture of the sensor, of course, that can be realized, fabricated over the product. We have also another printing machine, Neotech. You can see here some characteristic, 5-axis, printing speed, and so on. If you are interested in knowing some characteristic available for curiosity. We have also another equipment recently acquired, that is again, we wanted to use these technologies to fabricate. We have also traditional sintering techniques, such as the use of oven or flash lamp annealing technique. The sintering we use if we fabricate sensor over plastic product for the well-known limit of temperature. As you can see here, there is, let me see if I'm able to start the video, but no problem, just there was a short video to show or to demonstrate which is the function of the printing machine, but you can imagine that this heating testing machine goes along a drawing to design the tour. Okay, thank you, Carlo, for this. So just to give you this an idea. I can see one of the sensor we fabricated. This is a strain gauge. Also, we characterize the strain gauge. As you can see, these are the geometrical values. The length of the strain gauge is on the whole path of the sensor. Sorry, probably I do have some problem. Here we are. And this is the strain gauge printed by inkjet printing technology. You can see here that we are able to print a sensor over surface different from plane. You can see here on the left, in the upper part of the slide, the cleanest substrate and the printed partner. This printed part has been subjected to a sintering process, and also the wiring operation for the connection of the sensor with the other circuit. Please, if you can, thank you. Here, just the instrumentation we used to characterize. See that the result gives you an idea of the characteristic of a sensor. It's not working. Can I have the next slide, please? These are just example of the sensor we printed over different object, different product. As you can see, there is a cap with a strain gauge. You can see on the right a complicated surface over which we realize a strain gauge, just to give you the idea of the capabilities of the instrumentation of the. We have other examples. This is the resistant temperature sensor, but what just I wanted to highlight as the last remark of my presentation is the fact that the sensors are passive in the sense that we just print materials, silver nanoparticulate, plastic product, no electronic component, just the sensor and so-called the information can be read by a mobile reading unit. This is what I wanted to say. You see on the right the sensor, and on the left the sensor, and on the right the sensing coil. These are the two elements that are required to sense and to communicate the data to the external. You can see that we have characterized this event, and the message is that available. What I presented is the sensor that we have already fabricated, tested in the laboratory, and we are mounting over different plastic products. Again, I wanted to highlight what Gianmarco said about the collaboration between industry and university. We are really convinced that this is the road for the future innovation. Thank you for listening, and I'm available for your question or curiosity. Thank you.
Thank you, Emilio. You are right. The cooperation between industry and university is crucial, and AFIL is here to try to facilitate this relationship, also with the support from Lombardy region. So now it's the turn. We will start the session with the Lombardy stakeholders. We are a bit late on the schedule, but we will manage it. So I will call the first Lombardy stakeholder to speak, Maria Antonella Palermo from Tecnoalimenti. As said before, Tecnoalimenti is the RTO and is the lead, the coordinator of the value chain on agri-food manufacturing. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for this invitation. I'm very happy to be here this morning to join this interesting seminar. Okay. And I am happy to share with you Tecnoalimenti experience in circular economy from agro-food point of view. In particular, starting from our experience in an European project, I'd like to present an innovative multidimensional model approach to the circular economy in Lombardy. But first, introduce Tecnoalimenti and our role in research and innovation. We are a consortium of 31 food industries, and our members account for about 12 of food sales in Italy. The innovation in food sector, and we collaborate with the university, with the research center, and with the technological cluster. So here is reported our network. And to give you an example of our involvement in the agro-food manufacturing ecosystem, here is reported the secure and sustainable food manufacturing strategic community led by AFIL. Within this context, Tecnoalimenti coordinated with the Polytechnic of Milan the proposal physical involving 28 partners and 19 companies. Here a list of many experience, our many experience at national and international level. We operate in food innovation at different levels, for example, in nutrition, security, safety, traceability, and in particular, the first 4 projects are related to the plastic sector. In particular, this morning, I'd like to introduce you the Agro2Circular project aimed at territorial circular systemic solution for the upcycling of residues from the agro-food sector. Agro2Circular project involves 14 partners from 12 European community with a budget of 14 million euro and 42 months of activity. Agro2Circular project aims to set up an innovative concept of a circular and sustainability economy with an holistic systemic vision. But we also set up 2 practical applications with the value chain. High-value products from horticultural waste and recycling of plastic waste from agro-industry. Both the multidimensional model and the were set up in the Regione Murcia in Spain, and then were replicated in 2 other European regions, Lithuania and our Lombardy region. What about the model? The multidimensional model is a comprehensive framework to facilitate the adoption, the replication, and the scalability of circular economy solution at territorial level. Multidimensional model include several elements able to impact the circular transition, organized into 7 dimensions: governance, socioeconomic, environmental, policy and regulation, funding and financial, standardization, technology, research, innovation, and capacity building. The final multidimensional model is to support the dialogue, the collaboration between stakeholders from different point of view. So we use the model as a tool to stimulate reflection and comparison between Lombard stakeholders about the potential action that can be implemented for a more circular economy. So starting from implementing activities, AFIL activities, and Lombardy region strategies, we found a connection and organized with the support of University of Bocconi and Lombard group to identify together barriers or facilitator or potential action for future improvement. In particular, as stakeholders, we representative of 2 different operating units of Lombardy region, General Directorate for University Research and Innovation, and General Directorate for Environment and Climate. We involved representative of 4 technological clusters of Lombardy, and also CONAI, a consortium of companies involved in the plastic recycling. About the organization of the working group, we decided to evaluate 1 element on each dimension as reported in the table. And first of all, we stimulated an open between the stakeholders. Then we asked the participants to vote about the current situation in Lombardy related to the dimension. And last but not least, we had a co-creation moment to identify together barriers, facilitator, and potential improvement action. We collected all the results, and at the end, we asked an offline follow-up to the stakeholders. Here, I'd like to give you an idea of the current situation in Lombardy as emerged from the stakeholder votation. We reported the vote for each dimension, and we obtained the highest score for technology, research, innovation, and building capacity, but of course we were not surprised about this. And we also had a good evaluation of socioeconomic dimension and funding and financial dimension. Some improvement are needed in the area of standardization, maybe because of a lack of information. So to end my presentation, I'd like to give you some take-home message, and in particular some idea we collected from the co-creation section. All the stakeholders stressed the idea of coordination and cooperation. In particular, they stressed the idea of coordination between different territorial actors along the plastic value chain, both plastic production and plastic recycling, in order to obtain a real circular value chain. But also is important the cooperation between private companies and the research institutions. Last but not least, also the investment in training are important, but they are focused not only in general on the sustainability, but more in the circular economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Antonella. Thanks to Tecnoalimenti for accepting this invitation to tell us more about the specific sector, the food one. And now I'll invite on the stage Maurizio Corti, representing Canon Group, that will tell us something today, but will also host the PLASTIX delegation tomorrow afternoon. So we will hear more tomorrow as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, to be here to follow my presentation. This is an opportunity for us. I am representing the Canon Group, and my role is managing the main activity in research and development of the group, especially for the companies that are located in Italy. Some word about the Canon Group. The group has been founded in 1970, and starting with processing reactive polymers, polyurethane. Today we work for polyurethane, obviously, composite and thermoforming. In the 90s, the group spread to involving other industrial processes, in particular industrial boilers. What does it mean? For example, the boiler that is heating the Malpensa airport has been done by us. Then we have a company that is treating wastewater, industrial wastewater, and other companies making aluminum die casting, and finally a company that is, let me say, following most of the other companies making industrial automation, and today also involved in artificial intelligence. What about the group? In 2023, the turnover has been 290 million euro. The Canon Group the model is involving many companies. 12 companies are production companies, and the other, in total 31, are companies that are making service and selling in the world. In total, we cover 40 countries with 1,200 employees around, and are engineers. And 1/3 of them are young people today. In the past, we had a lot of old people like me. What about research and development? In these 50 years, we developed 100 patent, and I am also following the patent done or by myself are about 120 today. We % of turnover invested every year in research and development, and about 50 that in the world are dedicated to research and development. What about our business? 60 or two-thirds is involving reactive plastic, processing technology, and plants. 18% in the 23 coming from industrial boilers. What does it mean, energy intelligence? We understood that, for example, applying AI to boilers is much easier to normal machinery that are working very fast and with flexibility. Boilers are used day by day with the same rhythm, let me say, and we were able to software that are monitoring usual use of these boilers and saving a lot of energy just organizing the use of this boiler day by day with repeated cycles. Percent is the involvement in wastewater treatment, and 3% is industrial automation. What about our market in Italy? That is not in this slide. On the total turnover, we sell about 5% in Italy. What about our activity in energy saving and recyclability? Starting from the 90s, we were involved in the replacement of freons that in the polyurethane foam is the blowing agent, so the agent that is blowing the foam and making it stable. We were able, in cooperation obviously with our customer and with the producer of chemistry, to replace completely today the freons. There are no more freons in the plant that we provide. And we have done more than 1,560 plants just to replace freons. We got also an award from the United Nations for this activity. What about other activity about energy saving and recyclability? Our main field of application is thermal insulation for refrigerator. As you can imagine, the refrigerator is mainly assembled with the polyurethane foam. You can imagine that the shell of the refrigerator is something fragile and very thin. When we inject the polyurethane foam, is becoming stable, completely insulated, and lasting for 10, 20 years. Obviously, we participate to the energy saving that has been launched by the European Union in the efficiency of the refrigerator. And today we can say that each refrigerator produced in the world can have a consumption of about 25 watts, while when we started in the refrigerator, the normal consumption was around 120 watts. This is just to tell you how much was our effort in this application. I want to use you some information about two that we are running, and you will that will be presented to you tomorrow in a much better way. One involving the reuse of recycling and reuse of polyurethane of powder. We can mix again the powder inside the polyol that is one of the components of the polyurethane, and making again foam that has the same properties as the virgin foam, not filled, but with better mechanical properties. This is, let me say, part of the possible project that has been co-financed by the Italian government with the recovery plan. But what I would like to present to you is something that we discovered recently this summer together with my colleague. Polyurethane foam, when grinded, is a porous material. We are investigating the use of vacuum-insulated panels inside the refrigerator. And we discovered that this material is so porous that is can be used to produce very, very efficient vacuum-insulated panels. We applied a patent recently for that, and tomorrow we will present much better this solution. Obviously, we are involved also in chemical recycling of polyurethane, but this is not part of this presentation for time reason. Tomorrow we will explain much better what about chemical recycling. Some word about mechanical recycling. The possible project is using a special called mixing head. So you can imagine that we can project the granulated fillers inside the mixing head in the scheme that you see, reusing this filler, impregnating it with new polyurethane to make what? To make the same panels for which it is coming out by means of grinding. You see one of these panels used on machine for ground working, for agriculture and so on. What about the VIP panels, the vacuum insulated panels? As I tried to explain to you, adding how to apply this vacuum insulated panel inside the refrigerator. Our target is to use polyurethane for the core of these VIP panels. We produce foam together with BASF, and we apply this panel in the refrigerator, industrial refrigerator of the EPTA group. Within this activity, we learn how to apply the panels, how to better insulate the refrigerator, but we discovered also how to produce the panels with ground and recirculated polyurethane. You see this activity starting from powder. We can reassemble the powder with an aggregation compound, put inside an envelope, we apply the vacuum and then sealing the envelope. Lambda value, the best that we are able to reach is about 5 milliwatt per meter per Kelvin, while the normal polyurethane foam is around 18 milliwatt per Kelvin. Thanks for this brief presentation. Tomorrow we will have a better opportunity to speak about this solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurizio, and thanks to Canon Group and hosting us tomorrow. And we will hear different presentations on different topics. So we will have the chance to know more about Canon tomorrow. So the last presentation before the break, we will enjoy the break in a few minutes. I will call now on the floor Giorgia Zanchin from Centro Cote, which is a research center focusing mainly on textiles. So as you can see, we are alternating different topics like food, textile, to cover all plastics-related, let's say, collateral issues. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. Good morning, everyone. Sorry. And thank you, AFIL, for the opportunity of being here and on the. I hope to be very quick before the coffee. And first of all, I would like to introduce my company. Okay. Centro Cote is a service company that was founded more than 35 years ago that supports all the entire chain of the textile sector. Centro-Cote laboratories are among the most advanced in Europe and provide technical support for the evaluation of performances and technical support with regard to experimentation and training. However, I think everyone here in the room has heard that the textile industry is the second more polluting industry in the world. So in the last year, to try to face this environmental concern connected to our sector, the research and innovation area has been expanded to a new multi-sectoral experimental laboratory named Multilab. In this area, through a funded research project and collaboration with companies, we try to explore new frontiers of innovation, focusing in particular on materials by analyzing and developing materials with a view to sustainability and eco-design, through processes by developing new process methods in the context of, again, circular economy and sustainability, researching and developing and testing new products and applications for recycling. Our interest clearly started from the textile sector, but we expanded to other sectors such as composite material, buildings, and clearly plastic materials. But what is the connection? So why I'm here today talking about plastic partners? Clearly, the connection is the synthetic textile. Polyester is the main one, followed by polyamide, polypropylene, and other technical fibers. And how do we the issues correlated to this material? Basically, with technical and with the many equipments that we have in our laboratory, such as these 3 lab scale extruder. In particular, I would like to emphasize on the first on the left. There is a melt spinning machine that perfectly replicates the spinning plants that are industrially employed to produce synthetic yarns. But why are synthetic fibers so relevant? Because, as we can see also from the graph, they are the most widely produced in the world, more than cotton and every other kind of fiber. Polyester alone accounts for about 57% of the fibers produced worldwide, followed by, and is mainly used for clothing, and is followed by polyamide that we call nylon, both for like sports equipment or technical textile, and other fibers that are generally used for technical textile. However, despite the fact that polyester, like PET for plastic people, is widely recycled in the packaging sector, like I think later we will hear something about it. Its recycling, polyester recycling in the textile sector is still very limited. Only 12% of the polyester employed in the textile sector comes from recycling feedstock, and the other is all from fossil fuels. And mainly these 12% come from PET bottles recycling. However, bottled fiber recycling is a practice that the European Union is trying to limit, raising the amount of recycled content in plastic packaging and introducing also EPR schemes in the clothing industry. The goal is to improve fiber-to-fiber recycling that as of today accounts only for 2% of the recycled polyester. Another concern that is connected to synthetic fibers, and from Lord briefly mentioned it before, is the generation of microplastics, that in the case of a synthetic textile we can call microfibers. These fibers, the fibers can come from during the wearing and washing of the use, and they can be considered primary microplastics. There are also secondary microplastics that are the largest part that can can be found in the environment that comes from the degradation of plastic objects that are abandoned in the environment. The microplastics that comes from the textile sector accounts for 16 to 35%, depending on the geographical area that we are considering and the technique that are used to identify them. As we can see also from the picture that I reported here, the release of microplastics occur through the whole plastic value chain during production, transport, use, and end-of-life product. What is our effort in this direction in the environmental issues that the industry is facing? Is to identify new recycling processes for waste and end-of-life products. The starting both post-industrial waste or post-consumer waste, with materials coming from different textile. What we do is transform this waste into second raw materials through different techniques. Remaining in the sector of synthetic textile, the outcome of these processes can be functional mats for thermoacoustic or isolation, or plastic pellets, recycled plastic pellets that can go then in the production of objects or recycled yarn. And the application field of this material, in addition of clearly the one of clothing, can be buildings to create mats that can be used in isolating purpose, to composite, then using filler with other materials, or the automotive sector. And in this case, we all know that the transition to electric vehicles requires more strict isolating requirements. And to remain in the automotive sector, I would like to briefly show you the results of a project that was ended like 1 year ago. And it was a Horizon 2020 funded project named DigiPrime. The aim of this project was to develop a digital platform for circular economy in cross-sectorial sustainable value network. In order to demonstrate the feasibility and the utility of this digital platform, there was some demonstrator that should be developed. We were involved clearly in the demonstrator in the textile sector, and the textile in this case comes from the automotive sector, because I don't think that if everyone knows, but in our car there are a lot, around 35 kilos of textile coming from seat covers and safety belts, airbags, ceilings, racks, and considering all the cars that are dismantled every year, and this textile for the moment goes to incineration or landfill. Today I will show you just the results of a small part of this project that was regarding the recycling of safety belts. There are about 1.5 kilos of safety belts in each car, but if we consider all the cars that are dismantled every year only in Italy, we can go up to 1,600 tons of safety belts discarded every year. Safety belts are made of high tenacity polyester, so a high quality material, and how we face the recycling process of this material with two approaches. The first one is the clear textile recycling approach, and I don't want to show you this one this morning, because I would like to focus on the second type of recycling that in the textile sector is known as thermomechanical recycling, but in the plastic sector is known like mechanical recycling only. So what we did is to collect and clean. We shred them to a lightweight powder that was later transformed into through the aid of a twin screw extruder. Pellets were later transformed into a recycled yarn, with a mass spinning machine like the one I showed you before, and then the yarn was transformed into a fabric with a content of recycled material. This was only a demonstrator, a pilot case to show the possibility of mechanical recycling in the synthetic textile sector, and to demonstrate how the use of recycled material can reduce the CO2 emission. Another tool that we offer in the context of material recycling is the N3P platform. The acronym stands for Material Matchmaking Platform. It is a digital tool that aims to create matches between production waste, unsold product, or waste that companies can insert, and the recycling technology is available on the market, also considering the current regulation and certification available in the field of circular economy. Therefore, it consists of database of materials, skills, technologies, and services to respond to every challenge of recycling. It is multi-sectorial. So far, we included some sectors such as textile, plastic materials, and packaging, but it is in continued development as we acquire new competencies and technologies. The platform also offers services such as LCA study, certifications, and evaluation of performance of recycled materials, and is now undergoing an improvement with an artificial intelligence tool thanks to funding that we received. So to conclude, what we do as Multilab, what we can offer as Multilab is technical support in recycling challenges that the actual industrial sector must face. Also through an intense network that guarantees us constant dialogue with academics and the industrial sector. This was my last slide, so thank you everyone.
Thank you, Giorgia, and thanks to Centro Cote. We are starting with the second session, and I'm calling on the stage Delia Di Monaco from Corepla. Corepla is the National Consortium for the Collection, Recycling and Recovery of Plastic Packaging. So Delia, the floor is yours.
We are ready. Okay. Good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting Corepla to speak at this seminar. I think sharing knowledge is very important, especially in this sector. And I'm responsible for supply chain reporting in Corepla. And today I'd like to speak about activities in Italian. And I try to give you a special focus on Lombardy activities and Lombardy results. Corepla is the national consortium. Corepla is the national consortium for the collection, recycling, and recovery plastic packaging, and is the biggest producer responsibility organization for plastic packaging in Italy, and participate to Corepla more than 2,500 companies for the plastic packaging industry. Raw material producer, packaging manufacturers, user who produce their own packaging. So our work aims to reach the European target of recycling in an efficient, effective, and economical way. What Corepla does? What is the mission of Corepla? Corepla promotes the correct supply chain of the plastic packaging. First of all, Corepla receives the plastic packaging waste collected from all the Italian municipalities and pay them a fee based on the quality of the material collected, support cities in a separate waste collection, and ensure that the collection waste is properly recycled and recovered, and get citizen, business, and other stakeholders involved to prevent plastic packaging waste, litter, and environmental. How do we do it? Best manage two kinds of stream. The first stream is the material stream of plastic packaging waste, of course, from the producer to the end of life. So Curepla support and phases of the supply chain of plastic packaging and aims to maximize the recycling of plastic packaging. The second stream is more important, is a financial stream, because Curepla finances all the activities from collection to the final recovery of plastic packaging waste. So when the producer put on the market plastic packaging, they have to pay a fee called CUNA environmental contribution for each tons of plastic packaging put on the market. Curepla use this money, this fee, to collection fee to the municipalities, to pay a selection fee to the sorting center for the sorted of plastic packaging, pay and support the recycling. For a specific stream, there isn't a positive market, and cover the cost for energy recovery. Okay. What are the numbers of Curepla in Italy? 96% of the residents in Italy are served by separate waste collection, and 92% of the Italian municipalities are involved in Curepla scheme. In the Curepla system are involved also 83, 84 recycling plants, 100 preparation centers for solid recovered fuel, and more than 120 platforms for recycling for industrial packaging. And what is the situation? What is the number in Lombardy? In Lombardy, more than 90% of residents are involved in the Curepla system, so are served by a separate waste collection, and sorting plant that operated in Lombardy. We have 15 preparation centers. The treating capacity installed in Lombardy is greater than the regional requirement, so the Lombardy facilities treat also come from other regions of Italy. Okay, sorry, I don't have to change the slide. With this system in Lombardy are collected 25 in 2023 of plastic packaging waste for of 250,000 tons of plastic, and moreover of 60% of the waste plastic collected are sent to recycles by Curepla. In the last 2 years, Curepla improved the innovative project to improve the collection rate and to try to reach the new challenging European target, especially for particular waste stream. The first one project called Revending, and is a case in which the circular economy enters in the vending machine point, thanks to create a virtuous cycle of collecting and recycling plastic cup. So now the consumer, when buy a cup of coffee in a vending machine, can find the bin to dispose correctly the cup, and Curepla assures the correct recycling and collection of this stream. The second project is about the creation of an integrated selective collection system using the reverse vending machine, RVM. In Lombardy, we have installed moreover 40 reverse vending machines, And the goal of this project is aimed to reach the Single-Use Plastic Directive of, goals for bottle in PET for beverage. After the collection phase, all the plastic waste collection from the municipality is sent to the recycling sorting plants, and in the sorting plants, the waste are sorted by polymer in stream ready for recycling. So it's very strategic and important, the sorting phase in the supply chain of Corepla, because it's the moment in which our plastic waste heterogeneous can become ready for recycling. To sum up, I give you some pills of plastic packaging waste managed in Lombardy. So the total amount is 250,000 of plastic. We have 5 sorting plants that are able to sort the waste, and more than 60% are sent to recycling, and is more important, it's very important for us to improve the target rate, and especially to find a new solution for improve the recycling. So thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Delia, and thanks to Corepla for this exhaustive presentation about initiatives related to plastics recycling and many more. So now we will listen again to an academic speaker, Stefano Turri, representing INSTM, which is an Italian acronym standing for National Inter-University Consortium of Material Science and Technology. Stefano, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Stefano Turri from Politecnico di Milano, but as someone said before, I'm here today on behalf of INSTM, so a few words about INSTM. A National Inter-University Consortium of Material Science and Technology is a network of different universities in Italy, 53 universities located everywhere in Italy. You see with a strong presence in the north of Italy, in Lombardy, in Milan in particular, of course, dealing also with Politecnico di Milano. It was established in 1992. The activities in INSTM are divided in some main thematic areas, for sure. The area which is more relevant for the intention of the PLASTIX project is materials and technology for green economy and circular economy, but we have also is in materials for energy generation storage, for advanced manufacturing, and so on. A few other relevant figures for INSTM. Partner in currently in 16 European projects, national projects. The main research fields, as you see, are covered by chemistry, material science technology, and partially in physics. So a lot of competencies arising from the different departments of the 53 university belonging to INSTM. And this is a list of the research partners of INSTM, including, of course, AFIL. I'm not going now to show you a specific case of INSTM on circular economy of plastics, but I'm going rather to show very quickly an overview of some of the projects that we are dealing in this topic, and I think that could be of interest for the audience today. I've divided them into two broad areas, which are circular plastics and recycling and bioplastics. So let's start for circular plastics and recycling. First topic. We are talking here about smart polymers, and often indicated with the name of vitrimers. Vitrimers are a sort of bridge between the field of thermoset and thermoplastic. They have a network of bonds. Bonds are reversible, can be subjected to bond exchange upon an external application of a stimulus, normally a thermal stimulus, and that feature will impart properties like malleability, ability to be reshaped, to be repaired, and finally also to be mechanically recycled to the final material. So Vitrimer chemistry can be adapted to both thermosets in order to make them recyclable, and also to thermoplastics in order to add the mechanical recyclates. For example, by classical Chinsky extrusion. Another alternative technology mechanical recycling of end-of-life plastics is by 3D printing, additive remanufacturing, FDM, and also other technology. For example, now a project dedicated for the reuse and recovery of polypropylene fibers from face masks, end-of-life face masks that can be reprocessed through the filaments or also to the powder and reshaped in another second life object. As for recycling in particular, we are working especially on technologies and more innovative technologies for chemical recycling. Solvolysis is a chemical recycling carried out by the action of solvents, and it can be a reactive solvolysis when applied to composites and thermosets, because in this condition we have a depolymerization of the resin and the recovery of the organic recyclate that can be reused, minimally degrade, or can be a physical, or better, a physical-chemical recycling of thermoplastics by simple dissolution, and in this case, by using a library of different types of solvents, we can even separate different types of thermoplastics by nature, and therefore taking objects and products which are particularly challenging to be recycled, like typically multi-layer packaging, food packaging material that consists of different types of plastics, polyester, polyolefins, polyamides, and so on. Pyrolysis is an alternative method of thermochemical recycling. It consists on a progressive heating in non-oxidative atmosphere of the plastic, causing chain breaking and formation of small molecules, in some cases monomers, but not so often. In particular, now we are working on microwave pyrolysis, microwave-assisted heating. A microwave is a means to obtain very quickly the heating, reaching very quickly the temperature, and therefore is basically an energy-efficient, energy-saving technology that can be applied to both plastics and also production of biochar, carbon dots, and other useful materials. As for bioplastics, we have different projects dealing with bioplastics, starting from PHA is an acronym that stands for polyhydroxyalkanoates. They are linear polyesters which are spontaneously accumulated inside the cell by a variety of microorganisms and bacteria, like shown in that picture, in form of the cell. And therefore, the production of PHA consists in a microorganism in presence of a carbon source, harvesting, separation of the cell debris from the polyester that can be furtherly processed as by extrusion, molding, and so on. It tends to have a property similar to, for example, PLA, the classical polylactic acid, but with a higher melting point that tend to make the material a bit trickier to be processed, but also with a much better biodegradability. In particular, we are working on PHA that can be obtained by the biomasses obtained in wastewater treatment plant, where the carbon source is coming from wastewater treatment plants. Microalgae is an emerging family of biomasses, which is compatible with the third generation of biorefineries, and partially they can be also adopted for wastewater treatment plants also. We have different types of microalgae that can be grown in different conditions, depending on the salinity and the nature of the water. And in particular, we found that microalgae containing a relevant fraction of protein are particularly suitable to form fillers, biofillers, for compounding with bioplastic, and can be even converted directly into bioplastic by application of thermal and mechanical stresses, because in this condition we can assist the denaturation of the protein and association of polypeptide chain that are able to produce robust bioplastics completely biodegradable by conventional technologies. Another platform readily available is lignin. Lignin is the most important family of aromatics from renewable sources that can be obtained from the treatment of lignocellulosic biomasses, of course. And combining fractionation, chemical functionalization, and other technology, lignin can be converted into useful materials, typically as fillers, functional fillers for thermoplastics. They tend to have an effect also on the thermoplastics. They are naturally antioxidants and therefore not an inert filler. And also they can be converted into functional resins, especially for the adhesive sector. Cutin. Cutin is a polyester, cross-linked polyester present in the cuticle of tomatoes, for example, and other vegetables. We have a project that is dealing with the valorization of this particular agricultural crop, which is typical of Southern Europe, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece. Therefore, the cutin is extracted from the cuticle of, from the peel of tomatoes, converted into the monomers, and the monomers can be converted again into bio-based plasticizers for bioplastics, typically for PLA, or directly used also for the production of protective coatings, like typically in can coatings for food application, when it can replace toxic monomer like bisphenol A and so on. And finally, we have some projects also in tackling the issue of recycling and reusing scraps in the textile and leather industry. In case of textile scraps coming from fashion and clothing industry, one issue is the separation of the synthetic fibers like polyester and polyamides from the polyurethane adhesive or of coatings that is keeping together the fibers, and we can do that with a sort of solvolysis by using green solvents, obtaining fibers with a good integrity, preservation of molecular weight, physical properties that can be recycled in closed loop, in new yarns, or in open loop perspective, typically in, for the realization of different type of objects by and other sector. And that is for everything for you. Thank you for your attention. I'm available for questions, even this afternoon if you are visiting our laboratories in Politecnico. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefano. And thanks to INSTM for the availability, and also for universities that are part of the consortium that are involved in this network. Also, University of Brescia and Politecnico di Milano that were mentioned in the first slide. So now, Notari from OGIRE that will tell you more about their mission. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for being here, and thanks to AFIL for inviting us in this seminar. I am Francesco Notari, and I am the head of sustainability of OGIRE, which is a company based in Milan and in Genova that has as its mission to clean global oceans and European seas from plastic trash and waste in general. I will not spend much time talking about the plastic crisis, because I'm sure that all of you are very much aware of its reasons and consequences, and I will just focus on the fact that unfortunately still today globally the plastic flow is not circular but is much more linear, meaning that only 9% is on average globally recycled, and almost 1 or ends up mismanaged, leaking into natural environments or burnt in open pit burning locations. And the problem is that these and the negative consequences to the environment are forecasted to grow in the future decades, together with the growth of global plastic production. And this has consequences not only on ecosystems health, and I'm sure we all have in our mind the devastating pictures of tons of plastic in rivers, seas, and oceans, and killing by suffocation or entanglement millions of animals every year, but also on human health, especially due to the degradation in microplastics inhaled by humans, and also quite big consequences in terms of resource uses, oil that is necessary for production, and for the CO2 emissions that are linked to new virgin plastic productions. And then we get to the point of what can companies do in order to end the problem of plastic pollution. And the regulators, such as, for example, the UN Environmental Agency or the OSDD or the Science-Based Target Initiatives, have developed a two-folded strategy that focuses, first of all, in reducing the virgin plastic use and lessen its toxicity. And you seem all to be very much experts in this area. But also there is a strong need in collecting all the plastic that has been mismanaged and has leaked into the environment in order to close the loop, act on the last phase of the value chain, which is the post-consumer phase, and reinsert all these valuable materials into the value chain and turn it into usable again products. And so companies should focus, first of all, in investing within their own value chains by reducing the negative impact of the plastic that they produce, but also in financing plastic action to recover the amounts of plastic that are statistically mismanaged and leaked. And so we developed a program that helps companies, such as also, for example, Feltrinelli, that is our, let's say, closest client to this building, to assess what are the consequences of their plastic usage. And we do so by gathering primary data about consumption and geographical distribution and analyzing them with databases about statistical end-of-lives of plastic. And so we determine what are the average amounts of plastic coming from one company's production that leak into the environment or end up not recycled. And secondly, we collect from the oceans, thanks to our fleet of fishermen that are located all around the globe, the same, the equivalent amounts of ends up in the environment from the environment, and the amount of plastic that do not end up in recycling, we collect them and bring them to recycling facilities in order to increase the volumes of recycled materials. And we have projects now in all the continents aside from North America. We are active in Brazil, Indonesia, Senegal, and Europe, specifically in Italy with many harbors. And then we give the possibility to the companies that want to undertake the program to monitor every collection that our fishermen bring on shore, thanks to our blockchain-based registry that gives traceability to each batch of collected waste, and then the possibility to transform the impact that has been generated through the initiative into reporting content for the sustainability reportings of the companies. And then we, since a lot of sustainability is also communication and engagement with one company's clients and customers, we give to engage the stakeholders of a company thanks to the connection with our fishermen and waste speakers with and interviews about their daily works and the impact that has been created on their lives thanks to this. So I will leave you with three key takeaways. The first one is we always have to remember that plastic pollution is forecasted to grow despite the efforts to tackle it are growing. And in order to end it, it is not enough to reduce virgin plastic and the materials, but it is also important to collect all the plastic that ends up, and it is millions of tons, tens of millions of tons every year. We need to take it back and reinsert it into the value chain in order to transform waste into opportunities and value. Value not only for the communities where we act, because we can see a big improvement in terms of the availability of fishing stocks and improved biodiversity, but also for the companies that support them in terms of higher willingness to pay for the products from their customers and a more sustainable business model. I will leave you with the possibility to get in touch with us, either coming to our offices, that unfortunately there is the tent, but is the tower, or to contact some of us that help companies in their reduction and improvement in their production phase, or with a QR code if you want to be contacted to undergo such a program and compensate the unavoidable mismanagement of the plastic that you insert into the environment. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Francesco, and thanks to Jair for the presentation. And I mean, Francesco mentioned both Genova and Milan. So you know that in Genova there is the sea, but also in Milan we have the sea, which is actually a former sea-based plane that you can see maybe from here. This just as a curiosity for you. We also have. So now it's the turn of the last Lombardy stakeholder, and so I'll leave the floor to Nicola. Radici Group, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm always the last, but not the least. My name is Nico Peduto. I work for Radici Group, that is a big company, Italian big company. I'm dealing with innovation in Radici high performance polymers. But today I have the cap of Radici Innova, which is the entity of R&D corporate of the group. So I'm speaking, let's say, on behalf of my colleagues. Radici Group is a leader in manufacturing of intermediates and polymers based especially on polyamides 6 and 6,6. So with the compound thereof and advanced textile solution, the final product are based on nylon, on polymer that are produced in-house. The success of the group is based on vertical integration, so from polymerization to semi-finished product, but also on some pillars like sustainability. Radici was one of the pioneers in recovering plastics, post-industrial waste. Some words on Innova. Innova is created some years ago as two main objectives. One is to push the internal synergy in the group. The other one is to, two transversal project, and the other one is to, let's say, make an interface between the group and the external companies, organization, the university, in order to transform a research project in concrete business opportunity for the company. Just some words in favor of plastics, so that are, let's say, synthesized in this plastic sentence, that the plastics has contributed significantly to the increase of development and the progress of society. And thanks to some success factors of plastics that are unique for plastics. And today also the economy in Europe, at least, is based on plastics industry is the 7th industry in Europe, accounting for 1.6 million people in Europe, of about 300 billion euros. So it's quite industry, and it's more important in terms of sustainability. This is a work, academic work. Just take this one because we had this say, collaboration with the University of Linz, but you can find the publication. So it's important to say if we take away plastics anymore, but alternative materials, the greenhouse gas emission will increase about 50%. And then this data will tell us that we cannot get rid of plastics today as the world is organized and the economy is organized today. What is the problem? Is this one. The problem is that the plastic waste. The more plastic we use, the more waste we produce, and the management of waste is not what is correct today, let's say. So education, as the aphorism of Mikhail Gorbachev can explain the situation. A friend of mine on LinkedIn was a very smart post saying that on beach I found plastics, I never found money. And this is true. So plastics today is not something to throw away, but is a resource for the planet. This just to give some number, the graph, the blue line, the graph is the million tons produced of plastics. These are related to the United States, and the red line is the percentage of plastics in municipal solid waste that has achieved 13-14% today. So it's quite a big amount. In 2050, if the world is growing like this, 2050 we have to consume 3 times the crude oil to produce plastics. Let's say impact on carbon budget will increase of 15 times, and we will have more waste in the ocean. So, what to do? Let's say that the solution is to reuse and recycle plastic, especially the plastics used like thermoplastics type. These are the classification of recycled technology today. There are primary and secondary mechanical recycling. This is the one, of course, the primary recycled, the same formulation, the same product. And the Radici group today is focusing on mechanical recycling. We are introducing the secondary mechanical recycling. Let's say, take the feedstock not only from post-industrial, from the scraps of the group, but also from the post-consumer feedstock. This is the engagement of Radici Group in terms of sustainability. These are all data, macroscopic data that we achieved today. We are also able today to measure the impact of our process on the environment thanks to the LSCA team. These are the typology of raw materials we are dealing with. So we have virgin materials, the chemical polymerization plant, the post-industrial, which are the scraps of the group, and the post-consumer, that is our today, on which we are concentrating our efforts. These are of the industrial waste in-house. With this industrial waste, we have created a range of products called, and as you can see, these are just an example of mechanical nylon 6, 30% glass fiber. The mechanical properties refer to the virgin one that is very much dependent on the type of waste and the percentage of waste we are using inside the recycled material. And this is our business model today. So today we are recovering all the scraps of the group, but also post-consumer, like, let's say, final article came from automotive, e-market, and textile. This is the layout of production. Today it is an industrial process. The point to be considered is one, all plastics, but especially nylon, they are good in terms of mechanical properties and durability when it's pure. So the purification of the raw materials recovered from different sources to be as pure, let's say, as possible. And the final goal is to get material recycled that has a value, mean values of main properties closer to the primary grade material, but also the variability, the variation of properties to be, let's say, contained, because this means quality. These are the application in the market, and this is just to give you with an idea of what we are today, where we are today. We have materials that consider the use of recycled post-consumer grade, and we lose a little bit in mechanical properties, about 28%, depending on the till 28%, depending on the recycled amount in the final product, but we gain in CO2 emission about over 70%. And this is very attractive, of course, in the market. We have also innovative innovation project, let's say, through Innova. We are recovering now, try to recover materials from textile. I personally believe that textile will be a feedstock, important feedstock for plastics in the future. We are working on this, so through different methods, formulation. This is referred to polyamide coupled with the polyurethane, which is added in socks, bag, fashion, just to give elasticity, but polyurethane and polyamide are not compatible at all, even though they are quite similar. So we have developed a method to compatibilize the two products, the two polymer, and then use the final article as it is by just grind and then reshape the granules. We have developed, we have filed a patent on this, which has been accepted and published. We have the mechanical process to separate the two polymers. You can see because polyurethane and polyamide are different in terms of affinity to color because are different in polarity. And we are developing a chemical process, specific solvent for nylon to separate nylon from polyurethane, and to many others different and multi-component system. As a conclusion, through this presentation, first of all, we need education, so a good management of waste, and I believe that, and we are seeing that the innovation, the circular economy is a good opportunity for innovation. Last but not least, is eco-design, especially for customers like Roll, for instance, or also design for disassembling, because today we experience a very critical step is in disassembling articles in which there are different plastics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicolangelo and Radici Group. So that was the, let's say, the end of the first round of presentations by the Lombardy stakeholders. So now we will have we will give also some space. Let me stay here for a while because I'm always on the side. So we will give some space to the regional stakeholders coming from the plastics regions. So we will have 5 stakeholders speaking from now on, 1 from Catalonia, 2 from Sweden, 1 from Slovenia, and 1 from Finland. So I will leave here the floor to Irene Punti from Leitat Technology Center in Catalonia. And you have 3 to 5 minutes, a bit less than the hosts.
Thank you very much. My name is Irene Punti from Leitat Technology Center. Leitat started its life in as a textile laboratory, and as you can see in the image, now we have expanded to many different sectors such as health and biomedicine, applied chemistry and materials, including polymers, energy engineering, including sorting systems, and circular economy, including sorting, recycling, bio-based materials that are also biodegradable, and so on. Okay, personally, I'm responsible for the of European Horizon Europe proposals in circular and bioeconomy. So this session is super interesting for me, for all the possible future partners that are here in this room. What do we offer? I already mentioned sorting, recycling processes, polymers, textiles. We are basically most comfortable in the lab to pilot scale. Okay, so we move ourselves in TRLs 3, 5, 6, 7 sometimes, but more looking at the circularity, the safety and sustainability by design, and so on. In terms of development of technologies, we are more from lab to pilot scale. Also, sometimes we do the part of the multi-actor approach, so the social part relating to these technologies. And actually, I saw together with Tecnoalimenti, if I remember the name well, in the Fusili project. So doing this kind of social research. Just to explain very briefly, we are currently in about 70 Horizon Europe projects. I think the number is now higher because I recycled the slide following principles, and I think that we were lucky this year, so this has been a bit higher. Out of these 70, about 10 we coordinate. I put some examples here I think are representatives, city loops, about circularity of materials within cities. Sabina is about safety by design. We developed a digital platform to guide companies in the development of materials which are safe by design. Repair 3D, because we have strong capabilities in 3D printing. This is a project within the Circular Cities and Regions Initiative, and leading the demo on recycling of synthetic leather. So this is about recycling of textiles, and a lot of, as has been mentioned repeatedly, a lot of textiles or leather, in the end, they are plastics. Moebios, about sorting and recycling of bio-based plastics. Upstream from the city missions, about plastic litter and microplastics contamination in rivers. Relief, about bio-based fertilizers, and the plastic part comes in the encapsulation of these fertilizers that then is applied to the soil, so we cannot generate microplastics in the soil. Or Bio in South, which is a coordination and support action, a very Italian project, I might say, for CBEJU, what used to be the bio-based industries. And basically, we are looking at starting collaborations with all of you. With some of you, we are already collaborating. I will be around. I'm looking forward to the visits tomorrow to really have, let's say, what you have presented sink in and find possible collaborations. And to the regions, also say that we are pushing forward with cities topics. So we want also to make these connections more at the city and regional level, and not only with RTOs and companies, which is our traditional way to collaborate and where we feel more comfortable. And now we are moving also with this municipal and regional outlook. I hope I was on time. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene, for the presentation about Late Technology Center. And it was, I'm glad to see you at OSDD in Friesland in May. And now we'll call Angelica Jacobo to the floor, representing Region Värmland, that we actually listen about in the Värmland OSDD and also in Friesland as well from another colleague, I think.
Thank you. My name is Angelica Jacobo, representing the Region Värmland in Sweden. And as you can see on the map, we are located like in the middle of Sweden. And what is very important with this location is that we have the border on the west to Norway, which means that we have a very strong business partner in Norway. And we also have a lot of collaboration with companies, universities, and so on that side. As you also can see in the south, we have the biggest lake in Sweden located. And this is very, very necessary for our companies in this region, because we have also, via this sea, the lake, we are connected to the big lakes, which means that we can import and export a lot of materials via the water. In our development strategy, we are focused on improve the living conditions. We are focused on increase the competence. We have all seen that we are in competence lack in most all regions in Europe. We are focused on develop attractive locations and strengthen the competitiveness. And in all those areas, we can see that it's very important to also be sustainable, and that's where we put in the circular economy, which is very, very focused on the circular economy in both the development strategy, but also in our smart specialization strategy, which means that we are financing a lot of projects within this area. But we are also very, very proud to be part of the Regional Valley program, which is financed by the Horizon. And we have started this project in September this year. We are connected with a lot of regions in Europe, especially with the Navarra region as the leader partner. And within this Regional Innovation Valley, we will focus on the circular economy and the industrial symbiosis, which is, we are very proud and we are very curious to see what this project can give us. And we want, via this project, also to finance projects within companies, within other regions, and with our cluster organizations to really improve the circular economy in. Yeah, that's all from me. You can find me if you want to connect in some way. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. And now it's the turn of P. Saubermacher from Sardinia-Salek region. So we'll call for Blanca Veligov Bubik. So they will take the floor together.
Hello, I'm not Blanca. Blanca is here with me. My name is Anja Bubik, and I'm coming from the Faculty of Environmental Protection. We are plastics project partners from Slovenia, and today I will speak on behalf of our stakeholder, Pub Saubermacher, which is a waste management company. Pub Saubermacher is specialized in the collection and transportation of municipal and industrial waste. It employs around 80 people and serves 8 municipalities in Sardinia-Salek region. They are collecting various types of waste, plastics, and for example, in 2023, they gathered nearly 3,000 waste in total, so from households and from the industry. But today I won't be focused on their main activities and public services. I'll speak about one of their best practices, which I believe is very important and interesting, especially in the light of let's say, reducing plastics and microplastics in the environment as a result of agricultural activities. We didn't speak much about the agriculture today, but I have been attended many or several, let's say, events in Slovenia in last weeks, and this topic, so plastics and microplastics deriving from the agriculture, was very much highlighted. So their story began, let's say, about 10 years ago, when they started to develop an idea of collecting waste silage foil directly from farmers. The silage bales, you can see those bales also on the slide, are made from polyethylene foil. And polyethylene, as you know, is very valuable material and it's also recyclable. So they researched the market and studied usage and waste silage foil production in our region. And at the beginning, they include just one part of our region in their project. It's Savinja Valley. Why? Because this area is predominantly an agricultural area. And they faced two challenges or problems in that area. And the first one was that farmers used to burn those waste silage foils on the landfill or at their home fireplaces, consequently harm the environment. And secondly, they also used to put all this waste into the containers for the mixed packaging. So due to the volume of this foil, those containers were quickly inappropriate waste. So the company immediately drew the attention on this issue. So in the year 2000, they collect first 5 tons of the waste silage foils. And in 2020, this number increased, and I think they collect more than 60 tons of waste silage foils. And afterwards, also the second part of our region was included in this project. So since then, they yearly collect around 120 tons of waste silage foil. And what happens next? So this waste silage foil is then sent for the recycling, so mechanical recycling, where it is proceeded into the granulate, and the granulate is then used for the production of the foil for construction needs. For example, posts for electrical fences and some similar applications. Maybe just to add that there are now few companies in Slovenia that are accepting those waste silage foils for the recycling. And this is briefly it. So if anyone will have any additional questions, Blanca will be here with us both days, so she will be happy to answer you any questions. So, and for the end, we just prepared a really, really short video just to show you how this collection center looks like in Velenje, in Slovenia. But I would like to just say that it's quite unprofessional, but you will then be able to see how they are sorting those plastic waste. And here on the left, you can see those waste silage foil. Thank you.
Thank you to the Slovenian partner and colleague that presented regional example. And so now we will move to the last two interventions of the day that are separating us from the lunch. We will first listen to Annika Boss from RISE, Research Institute of Sweden, and then we will listen to Sanna at the end. So, Annika, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Annika Boss from RISE, the Swedish Research Institute. And I'm grateful to be able to take part and meet you here. RISE is the research institute in Sweden with about 3,300 employees. And we should contribute to a competitive Swedish sustainable industry. That's our main goal. And we have work with research projects in close collaboration with the industry and the innovation projects as well. And about 50% of what we research and innovation projects, and about 50% is assignment directly from industry. And my role at RISE is a researcher in polymers and plastics, specifically, and recycling of plastics. I work within this field for many years now. And we have started up a center for sustainable plastics at RISE. We started it this year, but we have since many years worked in the field of plastics recycling. And we have a test and demo plant for plastics recycling, mechanical plastic recycling. And we also work with chemical recycling, depolymerization, and to polymerize new polymers. And we have also about 130 test beds at RISE. So we have a lot of collaboration also between this. We call them test beds. It's also actually test and demo plants. And we work in almost everything we do. We work in close collaboration with the industry and the automotive industry. We have several projects ongoing, and also with the construction industry and the companies that makes pipes, for example, plastic pipes and plastic products for the construction, and also packaging. We have network activities where we connect companies, people with each other, and we also support them with, inform them about new regulations that's coming and new standards and such things, arrange conferences. And I'm especially interested if you are automotive industry, since we now work with the implementation of recycled plastic. I'm especially interested if you are working in that field. Yeah, and the challenges, we have lots of them, and as you know already, collection and sorting is a big challenge, and also to get enough good quality of the recycled plastic and implement in high performance products like industry and the construction sector. And there's also challenging to this new packaging regulation that you should have recycled plastic in food packaging. It's also very challenging work with it in this field too. So if you are interested to hear more from me or collaborate, so just you find me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Annika, and thanks for the presentation about RISE. Now, so last but not least, I will leave the floor to Sanna, and I don't dare to pronounce your surname in Finnish, so I will leave the floor to you to introduce yourself for visual recycling OY.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sanna Syyskallio, and I come in from Finland. And I own this company, Visual Recycling, with my husband. And that company does a different sort of recycling consultation. We operate all in Finland, and that turnover is about 1.2 million euros for a year. But we also have good partners like Johanna Alakertua, who worked for us also, and she like to tell something more what we do.
Yes, I have had a possibility to work in visual recycling for less than a year. I think this company is really interesting, and its core function is to work with the waste management sector. Another company that Visual Recycling owns is the one who is importing different kind of waste containers from different countries and provide them to municipalities to collect, for example, plastic waste and other wastes in Finland. We also do different kind of quality management systems, environmental management systems for companies, because we see that this corporate responsibility is nowadays a really important factor for different kind of companies, also in different sectors. And therefore we have already done few ISO 9001 quality systems, for example, to companies. And also we see in the waste management sector that is carbon footprint calculations is one that companies actually need quite much. The other thing is that companies need more information of the issues. And we know that this corporate sustainability reporting directive has changed, and it requires, of course, that companies and all listed smaller companies needs to report of these corporate responsibility issues. But we see also that the smaller companies, they need to provide a similar kind of larger companies. And it relates to quality systems and environmental management systems, but also for the carbon footprint calculations. If you have any questions, please ask for me and Sanna. We are really eager to tell you. We hope you all good days and good lunch. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanna, and thanks, Johanna. I forgot to mention, but your name was clear on the slide. So actually, that was the end of the presentation session. Again, let me thank Lombardy region for hosting us and also for intervening, especially the very, very important to have here endorsing the project, and also Mr. Carlo Bianchessi, as well as Vincenzo, that you know, telling us more about the policy instrument that AFIL is working on more than 2 years. And special thanks to everybody that has intervened so far, from Lombardy and from the regions from PLASTIX. Thank you, and that's it for the morning. And for those that are staying with us, PLASTIX delegation, you have the full program on the back of your badge. So with more or less the time, and feel free to ask Eda or me or Carlo or Paolo or Isabella if you have any question or need. Thank you. That is for me, right?